we expect a big crowd. Women's golf
Mother will weather scary over all the tails.
All right, guys, welcome to Bricktown Water Taxi. Welcome to Oklahoma City. Welcome to Bricktown, all the above. I'm going to give you the rules real quick. No smoking, no vaping, no falling out of the boat. That's pretty much it. I'll make them up as I go if I need to. Okay, by the way, if you do fall out of the boat, swim as hard as you can. And when you get really tired, stand up and walk out. We're in 4 feet of water. You'll be okay. If you can't get out of 4 feet of water, hold up your hand with a 20 in it, and I'll come get you. Otherwise, what this tour will consist of, I'm going to talk about things along the way. I'm going to give you a brief history of Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, and we'll get to know each other a little bit. Do we know that guy?
No.
By the way, we got the Tipsy Tiki right here. Great place at night if you're a partier. Over here we've got great food. The Bourbon Street Cafe, lots of atmosphere. These people having a good time. Hi guys. Somebody order me a beer, I'll be back in a minute. Just kidding. It wouldn't hurt my driving. I haven't driven in over a year. My first day in like a year. They brought me in for the weekend. What else? Oh, we're going to get to know each other. I'm going first. My name's Mitch. I'm a retired Oklahoma City firefighter. I've lived in Oklahoma City 59 of my 61 years. So I'm in Oklahoma City all the way. I know 59. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you're elbowing your friend going, that dude don't look a day over 40. Thank you, I appreciate that. But no, I am 61 years old. Wow, that's bad. Yeah, I've lived here 59 years though, so like I say, I'm in Oklahoma City all the way. But show of hands, how many fellow Oklahomans do I have on the boat? Me and her, and him. Okay, where are you guys from?
Dallas.
What?
Tishomingo.
Tishomingo. That's where Blake Shelton's lived at, Tishomingo. There you go. Okay, anybody from Texas on the boat?
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Anyway, anybody from somewhere else you can tell me. Where are you from?
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
Idaho.
Idaho, okay. Kansas, all right. By the way, this is Pinball Alley right here. These tires, they're here so I don't tear the top of the boat out. Got to go right down the middle. I may bump a tire too, and then we'll pinball around. You know, if you're old like me, you're very familiar with pinball. Where at in Kansas are you from? Wichita. I got a good friend of mine lives in, where is the name of that town? Hutchinson, right outside, right up above there. By the way, we got the Devon mosaic up here. All things Oklahoma. State mammal is the buffalo. Below that, you got the state fish, white bass. The redbud is the state tree. You got the Native American ladies pouring the water into the canal. You got a scissor-tail flycatcher on the far right, which is our state bird. That bridge that, as my wife would say, that ugly bridge on I-40, I think it looks okay, but she doesn't like it. Anyway, that scissor-tail bridge is supposed to signify. That most, and up above you got every county, 77 of them, in Oklahoma listed up above. It's hard to read, but it is up there. Now we're going to see if I still can do my old trick. I'm getting it real hard. You look for a life preserver. There we go. Look at that. I'm just showing off. Now down here at the end of the canal, you'll see a painting of a peacock. Does anybody know the significance of a peacock to Oklahoma? Good, there is none. It's a trick question. The guy painted it. We're like, hey, looks good. So we went with the peacock. There you go. Okay. Now where in Texas are you guys from?
We're from the Lubbock area.
Okay. I thought you were not going to tell me that. I won't bother. Well, is it true? You're too young. There was an old song, Mac Davis, "Happiness in Lubbock, Texas," in my rearview mirror. But he ended up being a big fan. I've been to Lubbock. You got the Buddy Holly statue and all that. Went to a weird prairie dog town. mural. They had one of them in Oklahoma by my grandma's kid, not around anymore, so I enjoyed going to look at that. Guys, we're on what used to be California Street. For years it was California. These buildings were here. They're over 100 years old. Well, they were pretty thriving till probably the 1940s, and then everything kind of started shutting down. When I was even a kid growing up, you could come down, as a young man, you could come to downtown Oklahoma City, walk down the middle of the street at night or on the weekend, didn't have to worry about getting hit by cars. Nobody came down here, nothing going on. So we were bidding, trying to get United Airlines to bring a maintenance facility here, and it came down to us in Indianapolis. Well, Indianapolis got it. Our mayor said, hey, why'd y'all not give it to us? And United Airlines told them, man, we loved your presentation, loved everything about it, but quality of life in Oklahoma City, nothing to do here. So he said, we got to do something. So what he did was do the MAPS project. The MAPS project was a one cent sales tax. It was designed to raise $350 million, 1 penny at a time. Had to vote on it. Well, as you probably know, who votes to tax themselves, right? So we passed it barely. Started collecting, started building. Well, run out of money in the designated amount of time. We can't borrow money. We do maps like Grandma used to do it. You got to have the money first, then you build, do whatever you're doing. So we had to vote to extend it. They're thinking there ain't no way these people are going to vote to extend this thing. Well, we voted again and it passed overwhelmingly. The theory is they built the ballpark that's up there first, and people were like, hey, this is a cool ballpark. I'm getting a little bang for my buck. Not that hidden tax we're all so used to. So I'm cool with this. You'd have to build the Paycom where the Thunder play, like they did the ballpark, library downtown, and it built what you're floating on right now. It's opened in 1999. Anyway, that Miller Jackson company up there, that building was built in 1907. Oldest building in Bricktown. Most of these are old now. The place where we got on there, brick office, that building, that's not an older building. It's about 10 years old. But they built it to match the Bricktown theme. You've got a CrossFit, you got the golf course designed by Tiger Woods. Okay, maybe not. But anyway, we're going to reach your golf course. And you got things to do in Brickopolis. You got a place to have a drink or two. Laser tag, there's all kinds of things to do down here. Trickiest thing I did for me, making this turn right here, not hitting other boats. And occasionally I go ahead and just hit one, make myself feel better. But right now, I hope I don't. That's Captain Cassidy wearing that cowboy hat there. By the way, we're going to go through the Wish Bridge. We call it that because we wish it was wider. I got 4 inches of clearance to get through here. If I make it through without touching, I ask for a round of applause. Don't worry, I don't make it very often, and I got to get all the way through, so be patient on recognizing me. But here we go. Think then, hold your breath. Let's see what happens.
Oh, hey, Linda.
Thank you. Well, that's sad when you got to beg for applause. Now, right here, we got the Oklahoma City mural. This thing was painted in 3 days. Yeah. Well, they went with the motto, work smarter, not harder. What they did was they took a projector and they put over there, they always put over postcards on the projector, project them, kind of painted by the numbers.
Oh my God.
You got one from 1935. We had a trolley car back then. I had no idea. When I was growing up, it wasn't around. We have one again, paid for with maps money, just like everything else, and it goes around there like a couple of bucks to ride. Cheapest entertainment you'll get to see a lot of stuff. 1955, we had Automobile Alley, car dealerships downtown. Now, not so much, but Automobile Alley is now bars and restaurants. It's a cool area downtown. I'm going to tell one of my many bad jokes here. That was done by the artist Bob Palmer. I'm wondering if anybody will get this. There'll be a few. Done by the artist Bob Palmer, not to be confused with Robert Palmer. This guy was not addicted to love. Different guy. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. I'm a child of early MTV. I've got to throw in a Robert Palmer joke, okay?
Yep.
I need to get a more modern joke where people will get it. Anyway, we're going to go through the Echo Bridge here. I remember. Okay, good. Thank you, sir. Echo! Anybody celebrating their birthday? All right. What's your name? What? Emma. Emmy?
Emma.
Emma. Hey, I'm old. You're young. Ears. Anyway, Emma. Okay. I'm going to sing happy birthday to Emma on the way back through. And you guys are going to join me because I'm really terrible and you're going to try to drown me out. Emma, I'll probably have to ask again. I'm not very good with names. But we'll get you a happy birthday song on the way back. How old are you going to be? 8? Wow. I've got a pair of shoes quite a bit older than that. I'm at the narrows.
Where can we get it?
Crossover and down at the end there. Yes, sir, but you got to cross over on the other side. Okay. Now we got all these restaurant stuff here, but up above we got the condos. I mentioned those because people want to know what it costs to get a condo. I have no idea what it costs for a condo, but I do know retired firefighters driving the boat. We ain't living in the condo.
Yeah.
But they're representing the Thunder. Good for them. I should rephrase that. They're representing the next world champion basketball team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. It's a really cool time in our city right now. You know, we're pretty fired up. It's a big deal for us. We, no professional teams like a lot of other places. Still, a few years ago, and now we got this team, and they're a good group of guys, good team. We're fired up and happy. They're a good group to cheer for. Now, here on my left, coming up, we got Bucky's Taco Shop, the home of the fish bowl, maybe the world's largest margarita. So big it required 4 people of legal drinking age to get one. I get off at 7. If 3 of you'd like to meet me up there, buy me a drink, then drive me home and explain what happened. We'll do that. But otherwise, I probably Marble Slab Creamery. I ought to stick to that. Ice cream. Who doesn't like ice cream? I know if it was my birthday, I'd want some ice cream. Now coming up to my left, we're going to have what used to be the national headquarters for Sonic Drive-In. I think the Baptist Church actually bought this building, but Sonic started in Shawnee, Oklahoma in 1953. They were originally called Top Hat. Well, there was another Top Hat, so they had to change their name. And I think they did better because I've never eaten at a Top Hat, and I've eaten at Sonic a million times. The way they got the name, Shawnee's East. Midwest cities out there, Tinker Air Force Base, early 50s, they broke the sound barrier. Planes would go to the top, Sonic boom goes up. That's what we got, Sonic Drive-In right there.
Oh, that's cool.
And yes, I am old enough to remember the Sonic booms when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna pass these guys right here and hopefully not play rubber boats. Captain Roberts. Hey guys! You know they're clapping for you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know what I've done to deserve that, but I'll take all I can get. Maybe they heard a rumor how good I went through that. Maybe that's what's going on. I'm going through the S curves. Up here, when we go left, we're going to go through the deepest part of the canal. Who remembers how deep the canal is? 4 feet. Very good. Good crowd. Well, we got a 9 feet portion because this thing has to be drained and cleaned every 4 or 5 years. It takes 2 weeks to drain, clean the canal, and refill 3 million gallons of water, which is what my son uses when he takes a shower. Right at 3 million gallons. Anyway, it's a cool process.
What do you do with the boats?
Do what?
What do you do with the boats when that happens?
They trailer them. There's a place down here they can trailer them out. That's a great pleasure for them. By the way, this is the deepest part of the canal right here. Over here on my right, we're going to call the Imagination Falls. I used to call it Niagara Smalls, but now it's Imagination because the pump broke and we're not getting any water. So close your eyes and use your imagination. It's really cool. Ah, beautiful. There you go.
Gorgeous. I can imagine.
Okay, if you make your own, you want me to wait by the Chickasaw Plaza? I just went by the falls. So anyway, what do you guys think was the most commonly found thing
Now.
in the canal when they drained it? What do you think they found? What? Scooters. He said scooters. We actually found 28 of those scooters in the canal whenever. Yeah, people have a good time. They're having fun. They decided to be cool and throw the scooter in the water. It must be a good business if they can afford to lose 28 of them and still, survive. But the main thing, coins was the main thing. People making wishes, stuff like that. High heel shoes, very common. I got a theory there. Why women get out there partying? Those things look really uncomfortable. I've never worn them, I swear. Anyway, they take them off and throw them in the water. Hats. By the way, if it gets windy and your hat blows off, raise your hand and wave goodbye. I'm not going back for it. But, otherwise, we're going to stop up right here, guys, for a second. There's another boat coming, and we ain't got enough room for both those people. But while we're doing that, I'm going to talk about the Chickasaw Plaza over here. Chickasaw Plaza here, you got the Chickasaw Warrior. If you go by our state capitol, there's a warrior on the dome of our capitol. A guy named Enoch Kelly Haney did both of them. He passed away a couple years ago, but he was a true Renaissance man. Native American artist. He was in both branches of government in Oklahoma. He was a teacher, just a great man, and he did that right there. And what you do is you go up there, you can read about the history of the Chickasaw people. The thing I always mention, because it's the sad thing, but it's the thing people need to really know about, Indian Removal Act up there, they talk about 1830, where they took these people from where they wanted to live and brought them here where they didn't live. Very difficult journey. They call it the Trail of Tears because a lot of people did not survive it. But, well, when they get here, the Civil War starts a few years later, and a couple of the tribes, they join the Confederacy. I don't think they cared anything about anything politically. They were mad at the government. Who could blame them for being mad at the government? So they joined. Well, the war ends, and the government says, you guys picked the wrong team. You're out. So the tribes, and the ones that did it were in the Oklahoma City, what's now Oklahoma City area. They kick them out. Well, then a group of people, who's from Kansas again? I got Kansasville, okay. A group of folks from Kansas mainly, they show up here. They wanted the land. Hey, you got open land, let's live there. They kick them out. They come back. We all know how hard-headed these Kansas people are. Anyway, now they keep coming back. So finally the government says, okay, we're going to let some people come here and live. So we got to figure out a way. Hi, guys. We got to figure out a way to distribute this land. Well, the way that they came up with to distribute this land was the Oklahoma land right.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you guys aren't familiar, the best way to get real familiar with Oklahoma Land Run, there's an old movie called Far and Away. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, when they still got along, they made this movie together. And they're Irish immigrants, and at the end of the movie, they end up right here in Oklahoma. At the end of the movie, at the Land Run. Land Run, April 22nd, 1889. Oklahoma City, yep, baby ducks. Oklahoma City had a population of 10 that morning, population of 10,000 that night. The city built in a day is what we call Oklahoma City. Now, up here on my left, it's called Big Truck. Anyway, they bring in food trucks. There's a restaurant already in there. They bring in a variety of food trucks come in here. You can choose from. Got live music. They'll show the games on the big screen. Really cool area. They built that. It's been open since I've worked the last time, so I'm real familiar with it.
Very cool. Anyway,
Now you'll also see these You'll see these statues. We talked about the Land Run a minute ago. That is the Land Run Monument. The first two guys starting the Land Run. One guy lights a cannon, the other guy drops hand, you take off riding. You ride along, you find a plot of land you want. Pull up a stake there, you bury your own stake. And for $14, you got 160 acres of land. Wow. There are 45 total statues. We're going to look at the rest of them.
$14.
Now the first statue we'll look at, this on the left, is the likeness of famous Oklahoman Will Rogers. Will Rogers wasn't in the Land Run, but the artist Paul Moore wanted to honor him, so he put him up there. The guy driving the wagon, that's Paul Moore. He did a self-portrait put up there. And behind that, you got like a woman riding, carrying a baby. How tough was she? Got a guy tumbling over, you got a dog statue. A little bit of everything there, and you can see where the hoof prints are going in and out of the water. Now the original people who came here from, like I said, mainly Kansas, were called boomers. If you're from Oklahoma, you know we got boomers and we got Sooners. The Sooners were people who the night before, they already knew what land they wanted. They snuck in, they hid out, and they got a big head start the next day. They got here sooner.
Oh.
And we're named after people who cheated in the Land Run. We're not real ashamed of it. We're actually so unashamed of it. At the end of the canal down here, there's a statue dedicated to the Oklahoma Sooner, hid among the trees, ready to take off.
Oh my. I always wondered what the Sooners were. Yeah. We went to Texas, and the Oklahoma rumor is they wouldn't meet us. We never played in Oklahoma City or Austin. We only met in Dallas, halfway between.
Really?
Never knew why.
Oh, by the way, across the Oklahoma, the River Outdoor Adventures, the next Olympics that's going to be in LA,
Yeah.
several of the games, the canoeing and like the whitewater rafting and all that, are going to be in Oklahoma City. The Olympics and the Olympic softball is going to be in Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the Oklahoma City.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, he's hid under the trees, ready to get a head start. And the grain bin over here, those are climbing walls. You can climb indoors or outdoors.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
You can do it. I ain't doing it, but anyway.
You got it.
Yeah,
And I will mention the Will Rogers statue I mentioned earlier. It's a little bit sad because in real life, I'm coming to United States. He might not have been allowed to ride. He was Native American. Native Americans were the only race of people not allowed to land right. Everybody else is welcome. Our history is not the best. But we have a great relationship with the tribes now. They do a ton for Oklahoma, a ton for Oklahoma City. If you go downtown, or about 3 miles that away, we have the FAM Museum. It stands for First Americans Museum. Tells you everything you ever wanted to know right there.
I don't know if they know, but Tishomingo is where the Chickasaw capital is.
You what?
Tishomingo is where the Chickasaw capital resides.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, my wife works for Chickasaw and she always has to go to, not Tishomingo though. I can't remember what that town is, down in that area. But yeah, and the Chickasaws have done rather well for themselves.
Oh yeah.
Their governor and their chief knows what he's doing.
Was that a real turtle?
There's a turtle, a small turtle.
But anyway, if you don't want to go to the FAM, I got another museum for you. The Murrah Building Bombing Museum. As a firefighter, I recommend it. April 19th, 1995. And yes, I was actually there on the 20th.
The battery.
But I did go out there and was a part of that. And they've done a great job. It's a good museum about a mile north. Yeah, if you've never been to that, you really should go. To understand what Oklahoma City's been through, that Murrah Building Bombing Museum. And that happened about the time that all this was kicking off, kind of coincided. You're clear. Okay, I gotta ask my folks from Lubbock. You do know who back there is. Okay. Thought have I gotten that over? Now, on the other side, you can't see it yet, on the other side of this building here is the world's largest adult male daycare center, also called the Bass Pro Shop. Now, a man or a woman, it's a great place to go. And by the way, if you ever come down here and they're charging an arm and a leg to park, free parking at the Bass Pro Shop all the time.
Wow.
It's a little further to walk,
We don't have, we don't have.
but depending on what they're charging, it could be worth it.
There's not like a huge downtown.
Across from the plaza is the only hotel on the water. When Bricktown opened up, there was only like one hotel down here. I think we're up to 14 now, but that's the only one on the water. And please remember, if you stay there, if you can see us, we can see you. Shut your curtains, please.
What hotel was that?
Oh, there's a duck.
Oh, there's
Now the tall building off in the distance, that is the Devon Energy Tower. 844 feet, 50 floors. There's a restaurant on the 49th floor, like say Dallas, Chicago, tallest building between them. It was built in oil and gas with oil and gas money. Therefore, they designed it to look like a drill bit. Yep. And we had a guy show up a few years ago, uninvited, and climbed to the top of it.
Did he make it?
Yes, he did. He got arrested on the roof, but he did make it.
Wow. I hope it was worth it.
Well, it was a political statement. I don't get into politics or religion on the boat, but it was a political statement he was making. He does it all over the place, I guess. I'm fixing to go ask her, so I'm guessing nobody should. Now, as we go back through the deepest part of the canal here in a second, I'll talk about Toby Keith's restaurant up here. Toby Keith grew up, he went to school in Moore, grew up in South Oklahoma City just like I did. Our parents were very smart. It's Tornado Alley, but we like it down there. I still live there. Toby did live down that direction until his untimely death here earlier this year. Toby named that after his 18th #1 hit, which was I Love the Explorer. That's Toby Keith's I Love the Explorer and Grill. He was a gung-ho Oklahoman American. Toby was a good guy. We've got a lot of country music stars from Oklahoma. Can somebody name me one of them?
Toby Keith.
Well, I was just talking about
Blake
somebody hit her in the hand. Blake Shelton, yes, there you go. A guy named Garth Brooks from Yukon. Carrie Underwood is from Chakotah. Reba McEntire is from Chalky. Vince Gill's from Oklahoma City. If you go further back, B.J. Thomas is from born somewhere in Oklahoma. Roger Miller from Eric. So we got a few of them, but I talk about Toby because he's got the restaurant here. The specialty there is fried bologna. That's your thing.
Get some? You want fried bologna?
Daddy would have blessed it. We used to have fried so much. Would be round. Yep.
Here comes another boat. We're going to slide right by him. Hi guys.
Daddy loved that pineapple.
How many barbecue then?
Okay, now when we come into the Narrows here, toward the end of the canal down there to my left, will be a statue of the Oklahoma mammal, which we all know now is the buffalo. Supposedly, it's illegal to get your picture taken on that buffalo. Therefore, everybody gets their picture taken on that buffalo. If it's the worst thing you do in Bricktown, Oklahoma City cops will be thrilled. They're cool with it. We actually found that in the canal one morning. You what? Yeah, it's pretty impressive what a group of inebriated, motivated people can do.
There's something right
Thing
there.
in the canal we couldn't get
Statue.
through.
Oh my God.
We got the Harkins Theater up here to the left. I can't remember what the prices are, but they're pretty reasonably priced. If you want to go check out a movie at Harkins Theater.
Really?
Now before I sing happy birthday to Emma.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna make a few announcements, but first I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We're almost to the end here. Hope you guys have learned a little bit about Oklahoma City and Oklahoma. Maybe you didn't know. Second of all, this is by far the best looking group of people I've ever had on this boat. I mean, I will follow that up by mentioning we do accept tips here at Bricktown Watershed. Of course, show the love and tips are much appreciated. If not, it's cool. Go online, write a review. If you enjoyed it, my name's Mitch. If you didn't enjoy it, I go by Andy. Okay, what we're gonna do when we get up here, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1. We're all gonna sing happy birthday to Emma.
Whether she wants it or not.
These kids are teenagers and stuff, so they might die. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's cool. All right, now let me get my voice ready. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emma. Happy birthday to you. Emma, we'll see you next year. Make this an annual thing, okay? By the way, we will go back through the Wish Bridge, which means I may bump, especially on the right side, whatever you clog up, keep it in the boat. Because I may bump into that wall. For some reason, it's harder to get through this direction than the other. I told you I did.
Yeah, there you go.
But please remain seated until I get this thing parked, so we don't lose anybody that's making the game. And I'll tell you when it's safe to get on the ground. Captain Robert will help me out here. And Jessica's also going to help me get parked. When we get up here, you'll have a little bit of a tug and a bump. It won't be too slow. We'll have a little bit of one.
Featuring your favorite stars, musical performances, and exclusive looks at the year's most anticipated shows and movies. Live only on Netflix. Tap the banner to learn more.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab, LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin, or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical